right, and we are back now after getting some great scenarios and answering some audience questions about. The last thing we spoke about was escorts and the importance of them in people's lives and in situations, because there are male and female escorts and transgendered and whatnot. So whatever people are into, they tend to go to them for that release, that satisfaction. But new relationships can actually form from that situation as well. Because they're not only for that moment, that time, right? Some people actually want a little bit more and want to push for a newfound relationship because of how the connection is. Because
It's usually pretty weird though, because you got an escort and let's say they're John. Usually the John is a much older man that could afford to have repetitive meetings. You need to have some pockets, right? You need to have some pockets. So that's like you. I know you say it develops, but it's not like love at first sight, and she's about to stop escorting tomorrow because she sees a guy she likes. That's just not how it looks. He spends and he spends and
he
he
gets what he pays
spends,
for,
and so
basically.
it's like it's not the normal looking relationship. I know a couple girls that used to be in strip clubs and they met man and blah blah blah. But there's some older dudes with money that can afford to have kept women. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with being a kept man. That's just a harder job to full, right? Kept man job. That's difficult.
I got a question before you get to the rodeo questions. Can you make a hoe a housewife?
I've tried that so much times. I have tried that so much times. And the fact that I'm here as a single man is the answer to you. It's not achievable. It's just not achievable. Because a hoe is, everybody deserves the right to be who they are, and just some girls, they want to be hoes. Like, they're not evil. Evil or not like that. But they're not committed to housewifeism, and that's not really a word. Again, you know what I'm saying?
We just make up
But
words on this
we
show.
can make up words, but I'm saying he can still fix it and edit it.
Housewife
But
is thuggery. We got you covered, man.
Thuggery, housewifeism.
all
Was
kind
that
of
two
stuff.
segments over?
Hey,
I'm down with it.
you know what? Do not. I'm very well educated, but I do love my ebonics. But yeah. Oh god, you made me lose my train of thought.
Okay. Well, I'll add on to it, because when you say a hoe, that sounds like such an
Yes.
old term. We're talking
my bad.
about sexually confident women. Because women can be sex workers. They can be in any industry. They can be porn stars. They can be online women. They can be models. They can be bottle girls. They can be many things in very promiscuous environments that allow them to be portrayed as promiscuous women. However, they still have a heart. They still have.
I think that you are completely incorrect. I think that his wording of hoe, Ricky's wording of
Called
hoe
out the name.
is correct, because a true definition of a hoe from where my little squad stands is a girl that lies about having sex and keeps just having sex every friggin' where.
Like loose.
Will sleep with a whole squad. You are trying to tell me that's a sexually liberated girl? That's a hoe.
But she's still under the same umbrella, because that's what empowers her
yeah.
to control where she
And we're
lays her
creating
sex.
the whole sexual union, but in the whole thing of she's that's the true definition of a hoe, right? Like if you have a girlfriend and she's like, yo, I talk to guys and they all know I talk to other guys, so they know I'm fucking. She's not a hoe.
I saw.
No, I could stand here and tell you that's not a hoe. But you see, if you have a girlfriend, every night as a girl, she says to you, yo, girl, I'm going to bed. Fuck, I'm tired. And she gets up and she fucking down the place, blah, blah, blah. And you're walking on the streets and everybody's like, yo, why is he hanging with that fucking hoe?
Is that girl making money when she's doing it, or she just does it for the pleasure of just fucking?
And lies about fucking all the time. That's a fucking hoe.
I you know what? I totally agree with the sexually free women, right? But the lying part is the defining factor where I've gotta lean on with Rodeo. The lying part, because if she says, I'm fucking you, and you, and this is what I do, you deal with it or you don't, that's sexually liberated.
Correct.
Right? You can have as many dicks as you want. Correct. But then when it becomes,
she's on the low now, hiding and fucking his
it's
brethren.
only you, baby. I love you. But then you fucking on everybody else, and then you making me look like an asshole. You owe.
In the words of Snoop, Hizzo. Hizzo.
Okay.
It's the lying part.
Okay.
But can you make that a housewife?
Never.
Because, the fucking the whole crew and everything, like she's fucked a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood. But like, you like her.
Let me explain something to you.
There's a meme about that I saw recently about the guy that doubles back and wants to wife.
I am on like a disagreement parade right now. I completely disagree with what Ricky just said. Those women that decide they now want to be a housewife, they're tired of hoeing more than they want to be a housewife. You understand what I'm saying?
They just want to be caught.
They're like, yo, fuck, I've been on the road fucking all the time. Like, I just want to be at home with this fucking nigga. No, she still plans to be a hoe right now, right? But now she wants a house and she wants to live with this nigga and she wants a different kind of lifestyle. She don't want to be a wife. And niggas get caught up into that thing that, what?
She's looking
but
to be
she don't
saved.
want to be a
That's what it
wife. You know what I'm saying? She don't want to be a wife. I'm just like,
don't save her.
Yeah,
She don't
that's the
want to
song.
be saved. Don't save.
oh my goodness, B. What is that? The anthem.
That's what probably you're on right now, saying about women that want to be saved after they played it out. Because the mileage does add up, right? I mean, after a while, you want to like look around and say like, yeah, the hoeing. But then again, it could be based on age. Some women maybe outgrow the need to want to hoe around.
Younger hoes are coming in. And right now, young hoes right now, you know what I'm saying? Young hoes right now are pepper right now. It's not like before when you could have older hoes and young hoes coexist. Like right now, this younger running them out of business, right? So now it's time for them to find a husband and like, leave it to the streets and leave it to the young hoes, right? I'm gonna say, I'm not talking from experience. I'm talking from observation.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
I like it.
Pepper. The young ones are pepper. Okay. So let's get into the interview session now where let me ask you, is cooking your way into a woman's heart?
Me, no. I cook because it's a way for me to alleviate stress and organize my thinking without no interruption. Because when you're in the kitchen, it's just you and the knives, the vegetables, and whatever. And your mind obviously has to be doing something when you're doing that. And what my mind is doing is decompressing, is thinking, is planning, and at the same time making sure you make a completely delicious meal. So
Satisfying.
it's like an exercise of the mind for me. I when I cook a lot, that means I'm going through a hell load of stress. Like if you see me put like 2 veggies with 2 meats and 2 carbs and some bread and all that, I'm going through some shit right now. You know what I'm saying? The food might be looking good, but I want you to know that when you see me throw down those big course meals, it's like there's been some serious shit. And I'm making time in the kitchen because, serious shit's going on. I need to organize my thoughts, right? When you see me do like a 2-sided meal or something, things are good, man. Whoop, I'm out. Yeah, let's go. Life is good. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird how that happens to me, but for me, that's what I do. And the funny thing about that question is I cook all the time and I post on my Instagram page. And girls will be like, yo, you gonna come cook for me? Oh, when you gonna cook for me? Blah, 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 blah. A couple times girls actually DM me and be like, yeah, girl, I'm coming over to cook. Like I don't like to break hard still. But like, yeah, girl, I'm coming over to cook. With no intention because I only cook in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? I could only get the food to taste like that in my kitchen. They don't have the herbs and spices and shit that I have. And I'm not going to pack up everything and move it to some girl's house to whip up a meal. So even when I'm there, like I've tried it, like even when I'm there, it just don't taste the same. It don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? And I've had girls come up to me. I mean, like, you're such a fucking asshole. You told me you're gonna come home to cook. Don't even fucking talk to me. I'm like, girl, come on. You told me I could to cook of all the things. You know what I'm saying? But girls and food, that's
Try
another
to
topic.
use you for your cook
Oh
skills.
my
She
god,
has to bring a container and take away.
I don't even deliver food. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. We have to get into that nympho relationship for me to start delivering food.
Or you're not gonna let her out the house.
No, it's hard right now because right now I'm not living with no girl right now, right? That's just a decision I would not make. I've made opposite decisions in my time. Like I've been with one girl for 6 years, lived alone for 1 year, and then moved in with another girl that next year for 7 years. That's, you know what I'm saying? So right now,
That's a bid.
no, but so right now, that's what I'm saying. I mean, thinking about living, I'm not doing that because it's like sometimes I felt like I needed a female around me. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be alone. There's some niggas that can live in a big condo down on Lakeshore and have different girls every week and shit. But I didn't want to be alone, right? I wanted company. And that's what I kind of thought the year that I was by myself. I was like, fuck. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, Jamie Foxx, but I'm still a good looking guy. So I got a gift of gab, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't need to reach what some other people have to reach for and show money and shit and shit. I could talk her pants off, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? But being alone, it was a different feeling for me, So it's like I did this thing that I call monkey barring. So now I just,
next term.
hold one relationship, and I don't let go of this relationship until this relationship is ready.
It's also called lily padding.
I call it monkey. I've never heard that term.
It's like
but
it's the frog. It's the frog analogy
same.
of it.
But the lily pad is not. It can't be because monkey barring. One arm has to be in one relationship. This arm before you let go of the other relationship. Lily pad doesn't really fit that pattern of what I was doing. I was monkey barring. I wouldn't leave this relationship, and I'd have my hands on both monkey bars. But I'm not letting go of this one until this relationship was extremely strong. And I monkey barred for a bit, B. Straight. I want to be getting too deep.
That's a term. I had to write that down. Monkey barring. Yeah, okay. So that leads me into another question then. So when do you determine when it's safe to move in with a woman? Because the monkey barring doesn't necessarily mean living.
No, you know what? For me, it's like all she had to do was ask. Every time a girl asked me to move, I'm like, yeah. Seriously? I just gave away all my shit. I bought their full shit. Then when I left, they have all new stuff. I have nothing. I bought other stuff. It's like I had this laid back, I have a laid back personality, right? And even though I promote a lot of events and stuff like that, I'm not the guy in the VIP booth that you see at the front. I'm the guy making sure that everybody in the VIP gets their bottles and that everybody has a good time. And you don't really, really see me. You know what I'm saying? So I was okay, just kind of chilling.
Monkey barring around. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, can guys really tell when a woman isn't satisfied? And I want to elaborate. Sometimes a woman is in a relationship or she's in a situation, as we call it, a situationship. And she's maybe not getting the right amount of pleasure from the partner that she has. And then you see her around casually or whatever. Is it true that some guys can actually sense when she's like not as sexed as much or she's not happy or she's not being romanced and all of that?
I can't because girls are liars. I can't. You know what? I don't want you to take it a bad way, but girls are extremely good liars, right? Because you can be with a girl for like 3-4 months and this girl is the most angelic, beautiful, rosy thing you've ever seen in your life. But somewhere, like I call it the real her comes out. And you see, once the real her comes out, you'll never be able to see that other girl that you met at the beginning of a relationship,
So, Ricky, what do you got to say?
If you could tell when she's not satisfied?
Yeah, another woman.
No way.
Your answer.
It's a body language thing, right? I'm like, if I feel like she doesn't want to have sex as much, as I want to have sex.
It doesn't even have to be a girl you're fucking. It could be like a girl around the way
Mm-hmm.
that you like, or you know that you've kind of had your eye on or whatever. Like, do you feel that you can sense that energy from a woman that she's not being pleased properly by her man?
Okay, like that type of way. Yeah, I guess so.
Ow.
I okay.
Okay,
And maybe it's because of the situations that I've been in and maybe the situation I'm in now. But I can tell when a girl is with her man and like, you know, I'm powwowing with dude, but the gaze that his shorty is giving me is too long. Rodeo.
he's a tough one. He's like, I'm not buying it, yo.
It wasn't me. But no, I'm saying, but I could tell. I could like, you know what I mean? Like it's happened when I've run into
The look, that's
like
really...
the supporters on the street where they're like, yo, what up? Yo, we love hip hop. And their girl don't even know me from a can of paint because she probably don't watch the show because we have a really high male oriented audience. But the gaze that she's giving me because he's so hype is scandalous.
Okay. But that, to me, that's different than being able to tell a girl is sexually frustrated. Because a girl could be sexually curious. Like, yo, you see, like how you need to understand the way that females think, and men think that females think different from them because they look different from them. But females think just like men, you know. They will see you in a crowd between three men and say, you know, I would fuck that nigga. Sorry. You dig what I'm saying? I need, you know, it's that real, right? So she might have been looking at you saying, yo, I would fuck that nigga. And she's still ready to go home and fuck her nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Is how are you gonna, you know, I don't think there's a way to know because girls are really good at masking shit, right, B? And being sexually frustrated isn't something that's very difficult to mask. You pretend like you're happy all the time, and you know what I'm saying. It's nothing to mask. It's not a hard thing to mask. You pretend like you love it. You know when you're having sex.
And not to interrupt you,
go ahead.
I've also fucked other guys' girls back in the days, so she was obviously not satisfied with what was going on with him.
From were the guys from Rexdale?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
This is way back. But
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
this ain't about me. But it was like that was the proof to me. Like you're knocking on my door, boom, 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 and you're giving me pussy, but like.
No, and I agree with what
Homie
you
lives
said.
it,
That
like-
gaze is strong. And sometimes when you're in a relationship, a female will have guy friends around her. And sometimes if she becomes too available with her conversation, or let's just say she posts certain pics at certain moments because she wants to feel like needed or being attended to or the extra attention, a lot of the time it shows in the different forms, whether it be body language or different signs and hints. But again, the gaze, that in-person one is dangerous and lethal because it does happen. And a lot of girls, if they're with a kind of guy at a certain level, and then they see a guy they believe to be on a higher level that they want to fuck with to get to that other position, it happens. Because think about it, girls will throw themselves at you. Let's get real. Back in the day again, people would sometimes.
But how do you tell the difference in that gaze than a girl that really just wants to fuck you? I don't understand that part that you're saying.
Oh, there's a fine line.
I don't think there's two different gazes. I think it's the same gaze of trying
It's
to
the same
understand.
gaze.
It's the
right?
same
It's
gaze.
just if she takes action, then
It's perspective. So she
satisfied.
could be unsatisfied, but she could also want to genuinely fuck you because you're her type.
Yes.
So there's two ways to look at it. Remember, this is all about
I
perspective
just
and
assume that
conversation.
it's like she's like, why is my guy spazzing about this guy? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's he? And then it becomes an attraction thing.
But why is that? I don't want to go in circles and I don't want to type. But I still don't see that being brought back home to sexual frustration. That's only something that you and your significant others can feel, because you're living with a girl for 2 years and 3 years, and the first 2.5 years you're bunny rabbits, right? You're bunny rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to go in the bed and your girl just kind of gazing and you're having sex, and she's doing the whole iron board thing. You know what I'm saying? Just straight back, legs down, ain't nothing going on. You think what I'm saying?
Iron board. Like
You know, you writing this down, girl.
Iron
And
board.
doing, and
Iron
doing
board.
no,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I don't need to say nothing. And she's doing that. When your girl starts to do that, you know something ain't right sexually. But to be able to just tell from stance or gaze, I think that's impossible.
It depends on, again, what he was saying. That scenario is perfect because think about it, you guys have both been in very high demanding industries, promiscuous in a sense where you guys are usually a plug for what somebody might need around you. There are people right now for Friday that, for instance, has popular shows. People want to get on the show. They might have a girl and think that he's somebody that they should try to fuck with because he has links and ends and whatever to make things happen. So let's just say a guy comes to say, hey, to either of you in whatever industry you're in, they might want tickets. They might want an interview. They might want things, but they have a girl. That guy might think twice about bringing his girl around certain mans like you because that he's probably already pitched to the girl that, yo, this guy is going to, hook me up. He's going to do things. So usually a woman does sometimes gravitate to a man when he can level her up or do something for her
Oh my
Power.
God, is that the truth?
The power.
when she needs something. So
Oh my
how
God.
many girls would have a man at home or wherever they do have the man, maybe in the same club, and would throw themselves at you because they wanted tickets or they wanted access or they wanted to think that fucking you would give them some status, even though they have somebody bona fide,
Yeah, but I guess.
right? So that is, and the perspective is good too to look at. It might be that they are sexually unsatisfied, but also very much so that they want the hype. They want to be a part of the mix.
I think it's impossible. I stand so firmly on that.
Well, we can all agree to disagree. I mean,
I just want my position to be fully noted.
okay. How do you know which woman to like and go after? I think you answered that shortly earlier a little bit. Well, a little bit.
Communication.
Yeah.
You can tell almost right away. The first part. That doesn't write a forever story, but you can tell chemistry by conversation, and there's forced chemistry. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell natural chemistry. You can just tell. Both people can tell. The way you bounce off each other, the way you talk, the way you listen to, it's you can tell in the first communication. You can tell in the first phone calls and the comfortness of both people talking. Most of the time, I could relate the feeling to meeting a friend that you haven't seen in a long time. That's how it feels when you and a girl really click. It's like, yo, I've known you forever. If you understand how I'm trying to paint this picture, it's a feeling, and that's what I can compare that feeling to, of the kind of way I feel I'm ready to talk to a girl. It's that feeling I get,
So, how do you feel about lending money in relationships?
I'd rather just give money. Lending money is almost no, because it gets a little bit more personal, right? Gets a little bit more personal. I haven't seen it work out a lot, For example, via me paying for the girl's car that you fucking, I haven't seen it work out a lot, but and especially in families, that's a family breakup pill. You start lending money to your brother and your sister, and they can't pay back, and aunties get involved, and lending money is a no. It's better you say, if somebody wants $1,000 from you, and you can lend them $1,000. If you're their good friend, say, listen, I can't lend you $1,000, but I can give you $500. You give them the $500, and you hope that they're good of a friend enough that when they're back on their feet, you get that $500 back. If you don't, you accept that as an investment into your friendship.
Okay. It's a way to look at it. And lastly, usually when people, again, we talked about this lightly, about when you meet somebody and then you start getting into the friend zone category and then you start evolving. When do you think it's safe to really start to establish titles? And do you think that they're important on defining a relationship?
Like what kind of title? What do you mean? Give me an
Like
example.
boyfriend, girlfriend, or bae, or just somebody you fucking, or just somebody you kicking it with. Like, when do you kind of take it to the next level based on where you're at right now?
I think the relationship dictates that. I don't think I could be dating you and then one day I'm like, yo, it's time to start calling you. It's like our relationship. You understand? I say our relationship would dictate that, right? And the way it's progressing or not progressing. It's like, holding hands a lot more, hugging a lot more, kissing a lot more. Like, I, there's no calendar. But at that time, you have a boyfriend or girlfriend at that time, right?
So it's kind of assumed based on the behaviors.
Yes.
So a title really isn't needed once the actions kind of speak.
Not until you're getting married. The only title that's needed is the husband and wife. Other than that, everything is just creation of partitions that don't need to be there.
Because some people I've asked it on Instagram as well about relationship titles and stuff, and some people believe it provides a sense of security, because again, when you're monkey barring, I guess I'm going to use it now.
Touché.
It makes it challenging to know where you stand with that person if that person constantly always has 1 foot in and 1 foot out of a situation, or in your case, arms holding on to one person and holding on to the new person.
Yeah.
I know it's the past, but still.
It is, and hard.
Or you want to pass?
Yeah, I'm passing that one. That's the only one I passed too. I know you thought I was gonna be pressing the pass button like a start button. That's the only pass I did.
Okay. Yeah, you've been pretty good about your answers, man. You started off real powerful and you answered quite a bit of things in there. So
I think we got it.
Oh, there's always one. What do you have to say about guys that don't have romance right now and they're trying to hold down a relationship and they don't use foreplay or anything like that?
Yeah, but that it depends on the female. Because right now some will settle for that, but some will not. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how it is. Like,
is it important for a man to have the element of romance, especially if
I
they've
think
always
to females it's very important to females. So then it has to be important to men.
Friday?
If it's my woman, then she gets romance. If
You don't give your side chick romance? Is that what you
Side
said to me
chicks?
right
Bros
now?
I
checking
don't know.
bros. I like it.
I
He
don't know
checking you.
anything that you speak of, sir.
I'm saying if you did have a side chick, which I know as a gentleman you would never have that. So let's say if you did have a side chick, you wouldn't ever buy her roses or rose petal the bed, or you wouldn't do that ever to your side chick? It'd just be bang and gone? That's what you're saying?
Well,
If you did that, you know what I'm saying? That scenario.
technically, this is the agreement that we're supposed to have, right? You know what I'm saying? She's my side chick. You know what I mean?
but
You can't get all the
nobody's
benefits
breaking
that
it.
wifey gets.
Oh my good. Unnecessary lines.
If that was a scenario that I
unnecessary.
would entertain, which it would not be.
So is that to define a man as, if a man's romantic, then he should be romantic towards whatever partners he has? Or is he just selectively
100%.
your part-time romance?
100%. All of them should feel like the wife.
Wife, you are the wife.
I'm on the record. Like if you have because if you don't do that, B, you are stirring a pot of problems, B.
You're going to be sidelined.
You cannot let your side chick see your wife online posting that new Tom Ford or whatever,
The Birkin.
and you don't know, but you know what I'm saying? She has to get something that week.
So
You
you
dig what I'm
actually
saying, B?
you rate the married man that have a side piece and gets her maybe earrings while getting the wife a necklace.
You know what? I am just discussing it. I'm not rating it. I'm just discussing. That's what I feel should happen, right?
You're generous like that.
No, it's not a generosity thing. If you want everything at home to be copacetic, you better make sure if you're going on the road, everything on the road is copacetic as well. They both can't exist in the same universe. I'm telling you.
Mm. And that's what probably they clash, because if one woman thinks that one is getting more than her, then she wants to come and see what this one's getting. But if you, so he's actually creating a solution. If you treat side piece as dainty beauty or whatever, and you give her things and you make her feel good enough to not have to try to figure out how the one at home is being treated, then it should be pretty reasonable.
I know a man with a wife in Oshawa and a wife in North York. And he goes from house to house. Both wives know they exist. They're always wiring each other to say, yo, you go to the bitch house tonight. That's why you come home so late. So both of them is always saying the same thing. and he pays the bills. And that's how he lives his life. And they never were. Everybody's comfortable. So if you want to live that life, you know what I'm saying? And if you're about that life, you got to be about that life. Really be, not just in stunting young boy looking, I have 2 girlfriends shit. You really have to step up and be about that life, B.
Yeah, not about it.
It's deep. No, but there are real, honestly, cultures that represent in serious polygamous relationships. And with a wife, that means there's a ring and there's a commitment and all that stuff. So each woman would have a ring most likely and have a status and have their own home. There are certain African cultures and other cultures that have the wives and the women housed accordingly.
Yeah, R.I.P. my pops. He had a few wives.
Yeah.
It's happening right here. We don't need to go overseas. It's happening right here. Let me tell you. I could tell you some stories. True, I don't want to color myself too bad, but let me add one more stripe in it. I was talking to this. I was talking to this young lady, and she's like, "Yo, my friend has a man that pays for her phone and pays her rent and pays for her car and gives her $500 a week to spend." So I'm like, yo, what are you saying to me? You know what I'm saying? I asked her, so what are you saying to me?
She wants the same.
She wants the same.
And think about it. If the men really actually gave the women the same entitlements together just to satisfy them, and then honestly treat them a little bit differently, maybe in person, whatever, for whatever categories, that actually might not be that bad.
It's not bad, but then, some, you know what I'm saying? Some woman ain't taking that shit. Someone is burning down the next house, right?
Hold on. Didn't somebody have a song about it? Which reggae singer had a song about it? I don't know if it was Maka or one of them, but they had a song and they sang like, if you're going to, like, she didn't mind that he fucked another woman, but it was a matter of as long as he's getting money from that woman too, or whatever the case is. I forgot what it was, but it's a similar concept. Like, there has to be some gain in the situation. Like, most women won't like the fact that there's other women, but if there's a real substantial gain, then they might be quiet or not as.
Yeah, a lot of basketball players and like other athletes wives go through the same thing. They know that their man's out there fucking other women on the road and everything, but they're like, yo, as long as everything's good at home, and I got my paper,
that
and
sounds
I got
like
this
some
big house.
sister wife shit, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like some sister wife shit. Like, she's home and she don't mind if her man runs around the road as long as she's in that. That's how that sister wife shit work, right?
Mm. Okay. Well, I think you gave the people a really different side of you, man. There's some terminology I got from this today. There's rodeo solo going on. There's thuggery. There's, what was the other one? There's ironboarding. There was a next.
I knew you would really enjoy the ironboard.
I know the corpse, but like the ironboarding, that's a new one for me. So thank you everybody for listening. And again, this is another edition of Zaylink. And Rodeo, do you want to shout out your handles where people can follow you on your multiple pages?
Yeah. I'd like to say, first of all, thanks for having me. I had a really good time. You can follow me at Rodeo Promo on Instagram. So I don't want to send you all over the place. The best way is just to go to at Rodeo Promo from Instagram, and through there, it'll open you to the rest of the world at Rodeo Promo on Instagram.
Friday, doesn't he sound like Yo Gotti? Do you get that? Like
that? I don't know. I got to go listen to some Yo Gotti interviews.
Yeah, Just has that voice. Like,
Yeah. Make sure to subscribe.
mhm.
Make sure to subscribe to the audios as well. Okay. As usual, audios will be available Saturday morning, 7 a.m. All listening platforms, and whatever listening platform that you choose to listen to podcast, make sure to leave some comments, rate it, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to bring the Zayling podcast to the top of the ratings.
It's getting up there because we have YouTube for those that like to watch and see everybody. So if you heard Rodeo and you heard Ricky and you heard me, you want to see us, go to Allizae Vlogs for the full version. You can also check out We Love Hip Hop Network on YouTube as well. Click the subscribe button. And also our Instagram is always busy with content and images. And you can find a lot about my music and me and all that I do on Allizae Vlogs. And definitely be sure to follow We Love Hip Hop Network on Instagram, 6ViewsTO, and Friday Ricky Dred, amazing producer, and all the other hats he wears. So thanks for listening, and we out.